Sorry for the tight squeeze. Tell the commander her ace is in the hole.
Hey, check it out. No way. A Spartan?
For real. You better not be.
Oh man, he's here. We're gonna be
Where
all
did you
right.
find him?
Napping, out back.
I'll bet. It's good to see you, Chief.
Likewise, ma'am.
Let's get you up to speed. The Prophet of Truth's ships breached the lunar perimeter, smashed what was left of the home fleet. Terrestrial casualties from the subsequent bombardment were extreme. Truth could have landed anywhere, but he committed all his forces here, East Africa, the ruins of New Mombasa. Then they started digging.
What about Halo?
We stopped it, but only temporarily. Now the Prophet of Truth is looking for something called the Ark, where he'll be able to fire all the Halo rings. If he succeeds, humanity, the Covenant, every sentient being in the galaxy.
The rings will kill us all.
Ma'am, I have Lord Hood.
Patch him through.
Good news, Commander Keyes?
Good as it gets, sir.
So I see. What's your status, son?
Green, sir.
Glad to hear it. Commander's come up with a good plan, but without you, I wasn't sure we could pull it off.
Truth's ships are clustered above the excavation site, and his infantry has deployed anti-aircraft batteries around the perimeter. But if we neutralize one of the batteries, punch a hole in Truth's defenses...
I'll initiate a low-level strike. Hit him right where it hurts. I only have a handful of ships, Master Chief. It's a big risk, but I'm confident.
Hell, not again.
Emergency generators, now!
Shielding failed. They're down and charging.
As soon as they're up, re-establish contact with Lord Hood. Let him know...
All of you vermin, cowering in the dirt, thinking, what, I wonder, that you might escape the coming fire? No, your world will burn until its surface is but glass, and not even your demon will live to creep, blackened from its hole to mar the reflection of our passage, the culmination of our journey. For your destruction is the will of the gods, and I am their instrument.
Cocky bastard just loves to run his mouth.
Does he usually mention me?
Give the order, we're closing shop.
Ma'am,
We're about to get hit.
all personnel.
They're wounded.
defense code Alpha
We're getting
1,
all of them
prepare
out.
for immediate
I
evacuation.
have to carry him myself.
Ma'am, squad leaders are requesting a rally point. Where should they go?
To war.
Hello everyone and welcome to the second mission of my Halo 3 Legendary Walkthrough Guide. Today we'll be doing the mission Crow's Nest, and this mission is a fairly difficult mission. A lot of different engagements that will make it a little bit more difficult for you. Lots of brutes that you have to be able to handle. Lots of engagements that sometimes can get really overwhelming, but I aim to make this a very clear, concise guide that will make it that will hopefully not only make it easier, but that way you can approach these engagements in a different way rather than being either too passive or too aggressive. But with that being said, let's get right on into the very first engagement, which is just a bunch of grunts, and we're just going to headshot those three right up front. There's going to be a bunch of grunts following those guys, as well as a series of jackals. If you ever get to the point where you are in the middle of your reload, before you run out of ammo for your battle rifle, I recommend throwing a frag down. Maybe 2 frags if you want to like make sure that you get the jackals and the grunts that hop out of the way. We're going to try to get this this brute right here. Got his EMP. We got a flare, but I'm not going to use that. We're going to throw it over there. Kind of disregard it. Tossing a frag at the back. I usually save a frag for this purpose, making sure that I have an extra frag to be able to take out all those enemies that are very easy to take out with a frag grenade. It's just a strategy you can implement anytime whenever you're running against lots of grunts, lots of jackals. But as you saw there, we picked up a Covenant Carbine. We're going to be headshotting all these enemies. There's two Jackals and quite a few Grunts in this area. We want to make sure that we take out each trio of Grunts on each side before we can let the Pelican go on in. Making sure that we cleared out all those enemies that the Marines were fighting up on that scaffold. But once we do that, we're going to be sitting right here, right next to this fusion coil. The fusion coil kind of is a bit scary, but as soon as this second Phantom comes in, we're going to be EMPing the brute in the back, and then we're going to be taking out all those enemies out of the second Phantom, because by the time we take out the first wave, by the time we take out the second Phantom's enemies, the first Phantom would have already dropped, would be dropping. They're currently being dropped. The other enemies, like the Grunts and the brute. As you saw there, that fusion coil, we kind of just, I didn't want to die by that. Like this was a lot of practice, and I just said, you know what, I'm not dying by a fusion coil. Toss in that frag grenade as soon as those guys jump out of the fall out of the Phantom. EMPing the brute captain that came out first. There's two miners that follow that brute, making sure that we kill that brute before he drops his combat condom. Thankfully we did, but there's still one more brute. Usually you want to the way that you want to time these is you want to clear a wave. Like, you want the next Phantom to come in just as soon as you clear the wave, just like you saw there. Once the Phantom leaves, the next Phantom already is coming in to drop off more forces. Now, if you are not very comfortable standing up here up close and personal with the Phantom, I completely understand. Just hide behind crates and make sure that if it does aggro you, you want to be behind those crates immediately. That's why you always see me hugging these crates right here. Making sure that we're timing these grenades, getting the rest of the enemies out of our way. There's still one Jackal left, so we're going to take it out really quick. And that is it. That is the hangar fight. This is, in my opinion, actually a very difficult fight. But if you play up on those Phantoms, you should be able to, like, basically you can't be afraid. You have to be a little bit aggressive in this section of the mission. So just make sure that you are noob comboing those brutes, making them your priority, and then at that point just headshot the Grunts and the Jackals. Prioritize Jackals probably over the Grunts, but that's up to you. As you saw back there, we did pick up a brute shot. I'm zooming in to try to see if I can find the battle rifle on the floor here. I think I see it. It's right there. There we go. So we want to pick up the battle rifle that got blown up from the battle rifle got dropped by one of the Marines that got blown up in that Warthog a while back. So we're just making sure that we have ammo before we move on. Make sure that you pick up a deployable cover before you leave the hangar way back there. So just make sure that if you got to this point, make sure you have a deployable cover, because we're going to be using it in this part. Now the drone is going to try to take out that Marine. You want to use your brute shot to take out not only that brute, but the first few enemies of few drones that come out of that pipe up at the very top there. Now exactly where you saw me throw my deployable cover is where you want to throw your deployable cover. This is so you could shoot out of the deployable cover, but they can't shoot at you. So making sure that we're taking out all these drones. We got quite a good killing air going here. Got a few more enemies, I think, around, but we're gonna get off. I have a brute shot, making sure that we use that. See, I saw that guy. You know, you cleared out all the drones when that door opens. So make sure that you keep an eye out for that door, because you could be thinking that there's a few extra drones around, but in reality, you're fine to move on. Just making sure that we can pick up all the full, pretty much the most charged plasma pistols we can, because this area is where things get a little dicey. Gonna go over here. This is actually what I consider probably the hardest fight in the mission. I'm gonna open this. We're gonna take out the brute captain here, the one that I EMP'd. That's the one that you want to take out first. Now, from this point, you're just going to be sitting over here inside this tunnel. I'm trying to see if I can take out these brutes one at a time, Making sure that you also prioritize the ones that are closest to you. You don't want to be sitting like getting shot at by ones that are like riding up right on top of you. You want to make sure that you take them out like from like in terms of distance. And not to mention, it makes it easier for your plasma pistol to track them down. Taking out a few of these brutes. Now, once you take out several brutes, there's going to be a point in time that brute just got yeeted by something. I have no idea. But once you take out a certain amount of brutes, like a few more reinforcements will come in. They all have Covenant carbines, so make sure that you are aware of that. Making sure that you kind of stay behind cover. Don't get like too up close and personal with them. Gonna try to see if we can whittle his shields down with our battle rifle. And same as the other. No, I had to reload, unfortunately. But we did get it out of that salvo. Now, if you take out quite a few of these brutes without taking out the brute chieftain, the brute chieftain will charge you. So you want to EMP his shields if he hasn't EMP'd already. And then you're going to try to take him out just like that. Let him charge you down. If he turns on his invincibility, you let him charge at you, and then you sidestep him, and then back smack him. A typical Achilles spine will make it easier for you. In that crate right there was a battle rifle, so make sure you grab that just in case. We're trying to find that last brute, and there he goes. Making sure that we go and find a couple fully charged plasma pistols before we move on. Up here is another plasma pistol, as well as more battle rifle ammo if you need it. And now we're sitting pretty good with this invincibility. If you didn't get an invincibility, there's still regenerators and bubble shields if you want to grab those. But those are completely up to you. You really probably should pick up a regenerator if they drop successfully for you. All right. But that was, by the way, that was the hardest fight in my opinion in this mission. If you can make it past that, you pretty much are set. Now, I ended up panicking and using my invincibility. You didn't need to. I realized that I had just lost my shields, and I had gotten hit once or twice more. I didn't need to pop it, but I wanted to make it like towards you guys. Like, if in any case you guys didn't get an invincibility, I didn't just use it randomly, like during a big important fight. That wasn't an important moment in the mission. That was just you got shot by drones and you panicked type of moment. But still, regardless, that's what, like, typically you want to use invincibility as a defensively rather than offensively in the campaign, especially in a no deaths run like this. Now, just like what we did previously, we're kind of play from the back line, let Arbiter tank all this damage. He is he's dual wielding plasma rifles, so making sure that we target whatever we want to be able to attack. Like, let's say if the Arbiter pops somebody's shields off, we want to target that brute. We don't want to like have our own targets that we're fighting, because that would just be a waste of efficiency, and it would just take a long time to get through certain parts of the mission. So remember that when you are fighting inside of the with the Arbiter, because he helps you out a lot. Trying to see if we can pull off getting this last, it looks like a brute captain, but I almost had him, but the stupid box was in the way. Alright, couple of brute miners with Covenant carbines. So we're gonna have to sit behind cover. They tossed out a combat condom on the left, so on the right. So I had to see if there's any enemies left on the remaining on the left. But I think they decided to pull back here, which is weird because usually they like to stay up close and personal with you for as long as possible. So tossing a few grenades, making sure that we take out at least some of them. But unfortunately, I think all I got was their shields, maybe. Tossing a spike, trying to get that lucky stick to make it a little easier for us. There we go. See, that's what I'm talking about. The Arbiter taking out somebody's shields, and then you just, like, it's basically the Arbiter's your noob combo. Whatever he takes out, you just follow up and shoot them in their face with the battle rifle. That's it. Grabbing another plasma pistol. You'll see that quite a bit in this mission, me going back for a plasma pistol whenever I need to use it to noob combo a brute. Stupid grenade there, kind of that brute shot. Sorry, messed up my EMP. Got the brute chieftain with the plasma cannon. Trying to see if I can get this. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Taking out the 2 jackals that were on top. Got a brute miner right. That was a brute captain. Sorry, he had a brute shot. Trying to see if we can get the last. I think there's one more, and he had no shields, so that's it. Oh, there's one more. There we go. There we go. So that's the barracks part. The barracks might give some people some problems, but it's really not that bad. It's just at the very end, the brute chieftain can be a bit annoying, but overall, just kind of just play back, be a little bit more passive, like not passive, but be a little less aggressive than you were, let's say, in the hangar fight, or even in the other fight where we were taking out that brute chieftain that dropped the invincibility a little while back. Now, this next part is actually a really cool little, I wouldn't say it's a skip, it's just a nice little cheese that you can do to make this part with the Pelican really, really easy for you. Because what we're going to do is we're going to be hopping on top of the Pelican, jumping on top where you see that flight, where you see that observation deck, I guess would be what it is. And we're going to be up there while we fight the jump pack brutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to follow this exact path, and we're going to jump up here. We're immediately going to fall down here. I'm going to toss down a deployable cover. That's why we kept that. That way they do not come inside of the observation area. That way we can still like shoot down at the brutes as they fall onto the platform. All right, now that they all started falling down, we can start noob comboing them. Gonna use. Got a nice little sticky right there with the spike grenade. Trying to clear out the last remaining jump packs. Once you kill enough of the jump packs, there's going to be another wave of jump pack brutes that are going to come out down this stairway that you just saw me look at. We're wanting to make sure that we clear these guys out. There's like, I think only 4 of them, so we just want to make sure that we take them out as well. That brute, I think, just kind of fell to his death. So, meaning that was the last brute. But I'm not 100% sure. Because you see me looking at that other brute. But I guess that was the last one. But let's go double check. Because usually you want to double check the area up here. Because sometimes a brute gets glitched up here. And you won't even know he's up here. And as far as you know, you killed all the brutes. But this one brute up here is sometimes bugged, so just make sure you keep an eye out for that. Now, once you finish this, you're going to get a bunch of buggers, but Johnson will have cleared it out for you, so you don't even have to worry. I was still looking for that other jump pack brute, but again, I think he fell to his death, so there is that. All right. Last one out, get the lights. We're almost done with this mission. This next part is actually fairly easy. If you make it, as I said, if you can make it past the hangar part and the that part with all the brutes and that brute chieftain that dropped the invincibility, you could typically beat this mission without much of a challenge, because majority of this, the rest of this was just like us being able to cheese the mission. By the way, you do want to leave the that where we went to go fight the jump pack brutes, you want to leave that with a cloaking, because we're going to be using it to bypass the jackal snipers that are up on that catwalk that you don't even know, because you can't really see them without getting into a point where you can like get shot by them. So that's why we're bringing a cloaking with us. Clearing out the remaining grunts before we move on. If you do run out of battle rifle ammo, there is plenty of it. You just need to go back to where we killed that first grunt up here. There's going to be a giant weapon crate that we can grab more battle rifle out of.
Chief, follow
Alright, grabbed all the ammo we needed. And then we can just grab 2 plasma pistols just like we've been doing this entire time. Making sure that we are prepared to fight quite a few brutes left in the op center. Now, once you get up to at least this point, you're going to want to pop off your cloaking, not your overshield. Pop your cloaking. And then that will allow you'll have just enough time to get over here out of the Jackal Sniper's reach. Now, we're going to grab both of our plasma pistols. We're going to charge up both of them. We're going to get the one on the right and the one on the left. And then we're going to fall back immediately. We do not want to stay out there long because there's a brute chieftain with a fuel rod cannon that will immediately yeet you if you get hit by it. Now, there was something really, really weird about this engagement that you just saw the brutes keep killing their grunt friends, and I just simply did not understand what the heck was going on, because I'm sitting here just like waiting for the grunts to charge up, and they were getting killed by some of the brutes. I don't understand how, but leaving only 2 brutes left in this room. Again, the main threat here is that brute chieftain with the fuel rod cannon. Just make sure that you kind of like bounce around, make it a little difficult for him to hit you, and make sure that you remember exactly where you went. Once you take out that brute chieftain, it's just taking out that last brute on the turret. Once you do that, that is it. You are clear. You've basically beaten this mission. I would like to point that out. You have basically beaten this mission. All you have to do now is escape. And I only say that you basically beat this mission because there's still ways for you to die by the jackals and the grunts that you fight on the way out. So just make sure that you know that, like, I died in this part, like in the hangar right before I get into the elevator, and I died there, but that was because I was being ridiculous and using the turret when I didn't need to. But moving on, we see these 2 jackal marksmen. We're going to take up this right side. I'm being a little overkill. I'm doing it for safety, not because I actually was trying to like get points or something. I was doing it because I didn't want to get shot in the back. I didn't want this, like, at this point I was like, this is probably one of the better runs that I've had of Crow's Nest, and I just wanted to make sure that I ended it on a good note without any grunt shooting me in the back or tossing a grenade on me or anything like that. I just wanted to make sure I got this video good for you guys. Tossing, as you saw there, tossed a grenade. I tried to get the grenade on one of those drones, and it got so close, but unfortunately I missed. But taking out the remaining grunts down here, just like what we saw here in the beginning of the mission. We're just doing pretty much the exact same thing, but there's no more brutes, so you don't have to worry about them. You just have to worry about fighting a bunch of grunts and jackals. That's it. Moving down this final hallway into the hangar area, like I was talking about earlier, or like where we were at earlier. And this area, there's just a few grunts, a few jackals, and we're gonna play up where we basically we're gonna follow the catwalk up here to the I think it's another observation deck, but I don't know what to call it, so we'll just call it that. But we're gonna immediately go up there because we do not want to get shot by this phantom here, and we want to give ourselves enough cover to be able to take out these jackals as well as those grunts at the very far end of the hangar. You saw that jackal almost get its EMP off. This was the area that I died in the previous mission, in one of my previous runs, because I was being stupid and I played down there. So this was me trying to play safe rather than be aggressive. But other than the 3 grunts here on the right, as well as this jackal, it's pretty much GG. That is it. That is Crow's Nest on legendary difficulty with no deaths. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you guys did, please leave a like down below. And please consider subscribing if you haven't already. If you guys have any questions or tips or like any way that you've done this mission and you want to share, feel free to leave a comment below. But that's Crow's Nest on Legendary difficulty with no deaths. I'll see you guys next time for Sabo Highway. Thank you guys again for watching.
This place will become your tomb.